I'm going to keep today short and sweet because you guys have been listening to some really great student presentations, which is actually presenting all the same information better than I can. And I just really wanted to make sure that you saw this chart, right? This is just a nice encapsulation of the Islamic achievements that your textbook, and deservedly so, thinks are the very important ones. You can go ahead and copy this down and study it all to your heart's content. I'm sure that we'll hear more about the specific literature tomorrow, so I won't go so much into that. But one thing I just do want to highlight, just to talk at you, is right here. Okay, the philosophy and history. Check this out right here. You can see here the study of Aristotle, right? One of the most interesting things is that Aristotle and the Greek philosophers, so we're including the works of Plato in that as well, they were lost to Europe, right? Following the fall of Rome, these works are essentially forgotten. And the only reason that we know about Aristotle and Plato, and through Plato, Socrates, today are because their works had been preserved by the Islamic empires of the time. The works had been translated into Arabic, and there'd been a lot of commentaries written on them. The philosophers and thinkers in Baghdad, they knew about these guys. They knew about Aristotle. They were writing commentaries about Aristotle. They were thinking about him. They were like, let's take this thinker seriously and let's remember him because he's got interesting things to say. At the time, due to the political chaos following the fall of Rome, in Europe, these thinkers had been forgotten. The only reason that they were able to, that any memory of these guys were able to be preserved at all is because the thinkers and philosophers and whatnot in Baghdad and in Cairo, they preserved their memory. And then when Europe sort of came out of the scrum after the Dark Ages, the information was able to be passed back and forth. But it's an interesting point, one that I always like to bring up. I'm actually not even going to go through the rest of it because I'm sure that you guys will get it tomorrow. We'll give you a nice quick one today. But that's just something that I'd like you to sort of think about and ponder. I might even make it the do now for tomorrow. And that's, if Plato, through him Socrates and Aristotle were almost lost to history, right? If their works were almost just, burned and totally forgotten, think about what other thinkers, what other philosophers, what other great minds, weren't preserved. Who have we forgotten? Whose contributions would have been useful today, but just because they weren't lucky enough to have people, translate their work or preserve their work through political chaos? How many great minds and great thoughts have we lost? I'll leave you with that happy thought.